Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. If you haven't met me, I'm Pete Malicki. Let's dive on in. Welcome. This is the Drama Teachers member site. So this is a new resource that we have just built, we being Pete and Lisa as the Monologue Project. And on this website, we have put together a ton of resources. There's about 230 resources already on there, and we're adding more all the time. What we're going to do is we're going to run through the content. We'll talk about the license and how all of that works, what you can do, what you can't do. We'll give you a quick demo of the site so you can have a look at it in the live environment. We'll talk through pricing. We have a little special offer for anyone who is here today or watching the video, and then we can just take a Q&A. All right, let's talk through the content. So these are the main areas of content that we have. We have a script library with two different types of scripts, or monologues, I should say. They're all monologues. We have around 40 long monologues, by which I mean they're usually around the sort of 6 or 5 to 10 minute mark. So they're suitable for the IP performance. Some of them are a little long. And the short monologues, they're more like your audition length, so about 1 to 3 minutes. We have 3 playwriting courses. So we actually have built through one of our other businesses called Arts Business Academy, a playwriting course called Playwright Boost. There's Playwright Boost 1, 2, and 3. So there's 3 courses in total, and they are all available through this license on the Drama Teachers member site. And we have some monologue masterclasses, which are just resource packs designed around specific monologues to go really deep into learning a specific script and all of the support materials around that. And we have 4 different video libraries. So we'll run through each of these different types of content. So let's start with the script banks. With the 10-minute monologues, they are suitable for IP performance and have been done many times as IP monologues. Probably, I wouldn't know the exact number, but I'd say over 500 young actors have done these scripts for their IP. There's 38 scripts available on the website. And the great thing is, if I ever write a new script, it just goes straight up onto this website. Some of those scripts are exclusive. They've never been published anywhere, ever. So this is the only way that you can get access to those scripts. Some of them have been published in other anthologies, etc., in the past. With the short or audition monologues, they're 1 to 3 minutes each. There's 115 of them. And I actually have a crazy goal to get the world record for most monologues published for actors. So I am targeting 750, which is the world record, but I've decided to up that to 1,000. So that's my kind of hashtag life goal, to write 1,000 monologues. So whenever I write a new one, it ends up on this website in real time. To give you a little screenshot of the website and its features, you can actually search by filters. So if you want to see scripts which are suitable for female performers or any gendered performance, you can just click on that female filter, and then anything that could be suitable for a female will appear. Same with comedy and drama, and same with the language. So we've sort of we've split them up between clean and dirty, and essentially that sort of refers to swearing and, to some extent, adult themes. It's a little bit approximate, but basically, if it sort of uses an F-bomb, or if it's got some generally strong language, or if it's got some pretty strong adult themes, we'd put that dirty tag on it, so you can filter it that way. So if you've got students, or if you or your school are a little bit more, sensitive around that kind of stuff, then there's a very easy way to just make sure you get rid of the dodgy stuff. And you can see for each of the scripts, you get a little quick synopsis, you get the information on the script, and you can just very easily click and download it. That's also the case for the shorter monologues. We have the same features on the website. So looking at Playwright Boost, it's 3 short courses. So Playwright Boost 1 is 5 weeks, Boost 2 is 6 weeks, Boost 3 is 6 weeks. So in total, it's 17 lessons. And they contain over 100 different resources across this. So you can just mix and match the resources. You can download exercises or fact sheets, etc. Or you could actually structure it. It's already in a structured package, so you could run through it week by week or however you please, whatever suits you. And we've also matched up the content of the course to the script writing IP curriculum. So I'll just show you that. So what we've done is we've just gone through each of the resources and checked the criteria for the script writing IP and just marked where there's a match. So if that resource matches any of those points. So we can make this guide available. I'm just going to assume that that could be pretty handy. And so it's just a really easy way for you to see how each of those resources can help your students match those points. Coming back to the PowerPoint. So in total, it has in the course 29 different fact sheets, 49 video lessons. They're around 3 to 5 minutes each, mostly. Exercises, so there are writing exercises that you can just basically print and hand out. And we also have some pretty handy things like some script writing templates. So if you have a student who wants to write a script, instead of having to figure out how to do the formatting, it's already prepared and they can just download this resource and get going. I'll show you a copy of that in a moment. So just to give you a bit of a taste, we've got everything is sorted by week on the website so that you can just see how we've packaged it together. We will be having filters on the website soon. We have a couple of extra little bells and whistles to add. So that's one thing we want. So if you just want to look at all the videos or all of the exercises, you can just press a button and see them all at once. And I wanted to call out this this cool little resource that I made a few years ago, which is a random character generator. You can see just here in the bottom left corner. Basically what this does is it creates a character that a student could use for either acting exercises or writing exercises. And it just randomly creates them from an enormous data set. There are literally a trillion billion different combinations of characters that this thing can create. I don't even know what the word for that number is, so I just wrote a whole bunch of zeros. Anyway, it's a lot. And it's pretty fun. So I've used this with actors before. You just press a button and it generates a new character and you say, okay, this is you. Have a quick look and now you can do a little acting exercise, do an improv, or here's a script, now perform it as this character. Here are those script formats I mentioned. I have stretched them to make them fit the PowerPoint. They look better than that in real life, but just really handy way. If you want to write a script, you can just download this and get writing. The masterclasses. So what these masterclasses are, it's a new product that we've in our early stages of developing, but we wanted to make them available from day one on the Drama Teachers member site. So basically, this is a resource support package that goes around one single script. So to show you what's in it, let's say the first one we have available is for a script called A Psychopath, and you have an updated version of the script. You also have a shorter version of the script, so it's specifically cut down to the 6 to 8 minute mark for those scripts which are longer. Like I mentioned, some of them are a little bit over the 6 to 8 range. And there's also clean versions. So any script which has swearing or like pretty strong adult themes, we've softened that. So you can just use those as preferred. We've got audio recordings, and that can be a really helpful way for an actor to learn lines. So they can just put them on their in their headphones, and when they're, I don't know, going for a walk or something like that, can just listen to the script being read out loud. Some actors love learning scripts that way. There's a pretty detailed analysis on the script and the character. So it's that probably sounds like it's doing some of the IP performance work for the student. So it's really up to you whether or not that's useful or it's just shortcutting for them. But it could be a good way to give some clues, if nothing else, or for you to have a look to save time. If someone's picked a script you're not that familiar with, then you can have a quick read over that. And what else is there? There's with some of the most popular ones, we also have some video resources as well. So we've got interviews with people who've performed these scripts in the past, as well as kind of highlight of moments. So we picked out 10 moments from each script, and we show an actor performing them, and then a director giving some feedback, and then another performance. So you can see, just get some clues on how to do a really good job of those moments. Okay, that's that. Moving on to the video library. So there are 4 different video libraries. There's 4 long form monologue lessons. There are some reaction videos. There are 2 different types of live performances. So we have a series of seated monologues where the actors are sitting on a seat and performing in front of the camera. It's still a proper, really good quality performance done by professional actors who've done these same monologues in a live production environment, and also some recordings of just live performances of these scripts. There's also a series of videos around career advice. So I might just detail these a little bit and where some of this content comes from. So there are these 4 long form lessons. Now, these were done as a live stream as part of an event called World Monologue Games. So they're just basically quite deep lessons into different topics of around performing a monologue. These reaction videos, essentially, it's watching a performance and breaking it down and discussing it, analyzing it in video format, which is just really easy for people to consume and understand. The career advice actually comes from another Arts Business Academy course called Arts Mastery, which is a 12-month career development and arts business course that is being built at the moment. So we've partially released it, but basically we thought this content would be a good fit as well for those students who are interested in pursuing the creative industries as a career after school. So we decided that we'd add these video resources onto the drama teacher member site as well. So basically, these are growing resource banks, because every time we release a new module, you're going to get a whole new batch of videos as well. And I've talked about the professional actors videos that are on there as well. So in terms of this library, this resource being a growing resource, we're actually fairly frequently adding new content to it. Like I said, I've got this crazy mission to try to write 1,000 monologues. So I'm trying to write at least 1 per week. And I'm usually pretty good at it. Sometimes I write 3 in a day, but usually I do at least get one a week done. And so we're just adding them up onto the website as soon as they've been prepared. Our second masterclass is almost ready. I think half of the resources are available from day 1, but we just have to make a few finalizations, and then the second full package will be complete. And like I talked about with Arts Mastery, we're probably releasing a new module every month, every couple of months. So that's just that a new batch of videos will be added to the website every time that happens. And so I don't know, it's probably a bit early. You guys are still just absorbing what I'm saying, but we're really open to hearing what content you like. So if you become a member and there's content that you are engaging with or that you find useful, we'd love to know about that, because we're really happy to produce more content that matches what you guys want. That's the whole purpose of us doing this, really. So for example, those reaction videos, I did just a limited series of those last year. It was fun. I really enjoyed making them. They were pretty useful. People liked them, but I just got a lot on, and it wasn't really a priority to keep making them. But if you guys signed up to this and said, you know what, we really love those, they're useful, that's great. Let me know, and I'll make more. I've got no shortage of people who are happy for me to make a reaction video of their content. In terms of content that is freely available, so like many of you, of course, know me from the content that I've had available for about a decade, and until now I haven't really, I'm pretty relaxed with it. I haven't really been charging money for it. Occasionally someone offers money and I'm always glad to take it, or donations. But basically what I'm doing now is I'm still leaving some of this content up for free, particularly for those students or those schools that just don't have the resources to do something like a membership, or they don't have the budget or whatever. Because I do really care about kids having having the option to do it. So I've left 15 Definitely not the dregs as well. Most of the most popular ones are still up there available for free. So you're very welcome to use those. If this product isn't for you, please feel free to. In terms of the short monologues, they're only a very small number of those are available for free. But yeah, about 13 at this point. And every now and then I'll add new free ones. But just, yeah, at this stage, it's just a small number. Some of the performance videos you can actually find, and those monologue lessons and reaction videos, they're actually available if you're a World Monologue Games member. So they're not publicly available, and so you'd have to be a Games member to see them. Yeah, so just sort of just letting you know what you can get if you don't want to sign up. Now, just a few notes around anyone who's used my work in the past. I'm sort of anticipating this question now that we have created this licensed platform. What can you still do? So if it's any of those free scripts, you're very welcome to still use them. Use them for teaching, and I'm pretty chilled about what you do with them. If you want to use them as teaching resources or give them to the kids for the IP, that's totally fine. If you've purchased anything that has the scripts in the past, so there's a publication called Monosource, for example, which has a bunch of monologues, and there's a few other publications which have the monologues in them. If you purchase them, again, I'm always happy for you to use them. And anything that you already have, so if you have scripts which are no longer available for free, I'm still happy for you to use them this year, because I'm anticipating, and I know because a number of teachers have reached out to me, or students already, that people are already planning to use them for this year. So I don't want to force anyone to have to get a license for content that they've already had and you know, passed around to students, and you know, or preventing them from using something I've already said they can. So anything for this year is totally fine. But after 2022, if you don't have a license, or if you haven't purchased something that has the scripts, then I won't be allowing those to be used for free anymore. You'll have to get some kind of license. The 15 free ones, yes, they'll still be available. I'll always have some free ones available, but not anything that isn't free moving forwards. So in terms of licensing, what is it exactly? How does this all work? What can you do? What can't you do? And what might we think about for the future? So the way that we do this with the Drama Teachers member site is that we have a 12-month annual license. So there are two different options. You can purchase a license which gives teacher access only. So that means the teacher can access the resource and download things or use them in classes, etc. I'll talk more about that in a moment. But we also have a package which is for teacher and student access as well. We've actually developed two different kinds of access here. The teacher access has everything, has access to everything. We've got a limited access for the student accounts. The reason we do that is because we obviously need to make sure that our content doesn't end up you know, flooded all over the internet or being, you know, forwarded around, and kind of a bit worried that if we gave students full access to a big script database and a growing database, I'd be worried that there's always going to be someone who's just going to download 300 scripts, however many there are, and just keep them forever, or, you know, even worse, you know, forwarding them around. So we just weren't really comfortable with providing the scripts to the students directly via you know, some kind of login. But all of the video libraries are there, so that's a really handy way if, for example, you wanted to get them to watch something for homework or study or something, or if you just want to give them the access to be able to go through the various videos. But yeah, it gives the students access to go and look at those things directly.
I think there's it's around 40.
Around 40. Okay, cool. I think it's a bit more than that actually, because we added that extra batch yesterday. Having said all of that, we actually have a directory of all of the scripts. I'm showing it on my screen now. This isn't sorted by name, but basically it's just a kind of shortcut to see what the script's about. So here's your title, you know, what's the gender, what's the genre, how long is it, some of these things we can ignore. What emotions are there? So with the shorter monologues, we've just highlighted the key emotions because that's really useful for an actor who wants to use it for an audition. And then a quick synopsis. So this can be a handy way for students to maybe pick out some of the ones that they're more interested in. They could have a look through this list and highlight a couple that they'd like to see, and then you as the teachers could pass them on. So it'd be great to hear if you guys think that would be a useful resource to put up. My concern is that if we did put that up on the website, that you might have a bunch of students contacting you and asking to see a million scripts, and it just creates more work. So I'd really be curious to hear what you think and whether that's a good idea or a bad idea. But I might just push on. So what can you do with the license? Basically, you can do anything within your school for learning reasons. So to be clear, the license is between us and the school, not you as the individual teacher. So you can use any of the content for schooling. You can use it in class. You can use it as exercises, homework, analysis. You can give it out to them to use for their IP, like the scripts. Basically anything that's just legitimate schooling, that's totally fine. You can provide access to this content to any student who is at your school and any other teacher. So again, it is the licenses between the Monologue Project and the school. So you're very welcome to give any teacher at your school access to this resource if you get a license. Any other drama teacher, there's a lot of content that would be pretty useful for English teachers as well, around the writing stuff in particular. We just ask to be really careful with the login details. Obviously, we don't want those getting around. You're very welcome to print as many of the resources you like and to distribute them to students or to use them in that manner while the membership is active. And again, because we don't want students to retain every single one of our scripts or to pass them around, we're just limiting the number we're just asking you not to just email everything en masse. That would be really helpful to us. So we've put there just to email 5 scripts to each student. But we're really fine if you give printouts to the students and they can keep them forever. That's totally fine. At the end of the day, you know, we have to strike the balance between making this useful to you and not having our content, you know, distributed all around the world. But you know, you can never, if someone's really dedicated, if they really want to do it, it's very hard to stop them. So, you know, we're trying to take a balanced approach. And of course, you can play those videos or any of the content in a physical or a virtual classroom. What you can't do with this is retain or use or distribute any of the resources if you don't have an active membership. So the license allows you to use all of our content while the membership is active. It also doesn't allow you to pass it on to people who are not part of your school. So you can't give it to a teaching colleague from a different school or private students or family members or basically anyone who isn't an ongoing you know, student or teacher at the school. You can't record lessons when you play the videos. So if you did a virtual lesson and played the video, again, we want to make sure that the content doesn't get leaked. And as said before, you can't just send a big batch of, we don't want all of the scripts getting sent to the students out at once. In terms of other options, if there are other ways of using it that you'd be interested in. I had a chat with someone yesterday who was sort of asking a few questions around how that might work. So if there's enough interest, we'd be happy to create other license types. The only consideration from our end is that we might have to do a little bit of legal stuff with, you know, contracts and license agreements, and also we're using a system that allows certain things, that has certain, you know, constraints and options available on it. So if it's a different license type, we might have to look into how we can make that work just from a like website perspective. But we're definitely open. If there's something that would be useful to you, we'd really be glad to hear. In terms of transferring licenses, that was a question I've already had. We're happy for you to transfer a license from one school to another if the school is okay with that. So I don't know how real world that is, but it's kind of all the same to us. If you've made a purchase, if we transfer it, that's totally fine. And yeah, so my third point there is a license for individual teachers who might work casually or go be at a couple of schools or something like that. Would that be of interest to anyone? Feel free to let us know. Lisa.
Okay, I will share my screen. So this is basically the portal when you log into the member site. You can see that there's all your content and video libraries in the one space. You can tell that I've logged in through this little top left-hand corner here. It says, "Hi, Lisa." So you know you've logged in. To get the login details, once you've paid for everything, you get a couple of emails to tell you how what you need to do to register and to get your login details. So once you go through all of that, you should be able to just go in and log in via our website. Once you log in, this is what you see. So you can see there's it's split between the content and courses, and also the video libraries. So I'm just going to go straight into the 10-minute monologues. So if you just click onto there, you can see that the filters at the top here, and all the scripts are down the side. So if you go scroll through, you can have a look at the scripts. There's a bit of a synopsis there, what's about the gender, the language and the genre. If you're sort of looking through it, you like the script, you click on download, or just open it in another page, download it. At the moment, as you can see, there's quite a few scripts on here for you to go through and have a look. If you sort of scroll down to the middle and said, "Oh, okay, I'm just going to go back to the top," just click on that, and it'll take you back to the top. With the functionality of the filters, Pete's brought up the fact that you can sort of filter on these things here. All you have to do is click on it. So if I want to see female-only scripts, if I click on that, it will show you that. So as you can see, some of the scripts are both male and female can sort of do it. So we've included that in there. And then if you go down, that's female specific. And if you go through and then, you want to see comedy, same thing. It just lays it out for you. And then show all if you want to see everything else. So the script bank is what holds all of our monologues. So the 10-minute monologues is what I've just taken you through. The short monologues, that's the 1 to 3 minutes. So I'm just going to go and click on that one. As you can see, it's laid out in a similar way. In addition to sort of what we had before, there's also emotions in here and also the duration, because the 10-minute monologues are all around 10 minutes, whereas these ones are between 1 and 3 minutes. So it sort of gives you a view around how long it is. Again, you can go through and click on the filters to get what you need. Also just download this particular script that you want. There's currently, I think, over 115 monologues here for you to have a look at and scroll through. Fairly easy to navigate across. So you can either navigate using the header, or as you can see, the footer allows you to navigate there as well. So I'm just going to go into Playwright Boost now. So that's the writing course. So if you go into here, you can see there's the 3 Playwright Boost 1, 2, and 3. At the moment, it's all split into here. So you can see that there are the checklists, videos, and the fact sheets. So that sort of specifies what they are. And if you want to play the video, you just click into it.
Welcome to the Skill Injection Playwright Boost.
To watch it, you can download the checklist, and it downloads into another page, and you just need to open that to have a look at it. Sorry, I'm just gonna, so you can see it's very, very easy to navigate. And we've got sort of Playwright Boost 1 on week 2, so it goes through the weeks, and then Playwright Boost to Playwright Boost 3. As you can see, there's a lot of content here for you guys to go through and have a look, and it's really good content. It's sort of splitting it between the types of content as well. Moving on to the video library. So if I click onto here, you can see the 4 video libraries that we've mentioned previously. So the monologue lessons, if I click into here, you can see it's all there. If you just want to watch it within this space, you can just click on the play, and it'll play straight away.
So when you're picking a monologue, there are a few things to look out for.
If you don't want to just see it like
First
that
of all,
and want to open it in YouTube, just
obviously
click on
has
this little
to
button
suit
here,
you.
this icon, and it will open the YouTube page for you, so you can see it onto the one main page. close that. And yeah, it navigates through. It tells you a little bit about what the lesson covers in each of these lessons. Going to the reaction videos. So again, this is the 7 reaction videos that we have currently available. If you're happy with it, we can sort of create more. Again, it's just set up the same way. Just press play if you want to watch it here, or if you go to YouTube, or just open it up in the YouTube channel straight away for you. Just going back to the video library. If we go into the performances, we have 2 series of performances, the seated series, and I'll just take you through this one first. So it's a limited edition 10-minute monologues by professional actors. So you just have to click onto here. That's the name of the monologue and who's actually acted in it. So if you just click onto there, it'll open it for you. And you can see that it's a seated series. So they're actually acting in front of the camera, and you can
It's hot and dark.
Sort of analyze what it's done. So I'll just close that, and basically access the rest of it in the same manner. The actor performances. So basically these performances are done by professional actors, and they have been done in theatre shows, and it just has been recorded in front of a live audience. So these videos, the students have access to, if they have their student access, they can watch this to give them sort of a little bit of an idea of what the monologue's like, maybe what they can do with the monologues as well. And with all these performances, the scripts are available on the script on our TMP script bank as well.
I'm just going to jump in here, Lisa, for a second. We had a question to explain what those reaction videos are. So basically, it's me as a director watching a filmed monologue and pausing it and sort of having an analysis and a discussion about what the actor's doing, talking about the things that I think the actor's doing well, talking about where they have room for improvement, sorry, that kind of thing. And actually on our website, you can see examples of each of these content. So we've just got basically a 1-minute sample. So feel free to watch that to get an idea. Thanks, Lisa.
No worries. Yep, so these are the actor performances, and I think there's 17 of them here. They're all really good performances. The video quality may not be as great as we'd like, but the performances are pretty amazing. So it'll be really good for the students to watch and sort of learn from as well. I then just go to, sorry, I'm just going to go back down here to the career advice. So this career advice videos comes from our Arts Mastery series, and we've just pulled it through. What I've done here is group them into sort of areas. So this is just an introduction to say, you know, what are the failure stories and #1 tips. What you have here as well is how do you work effectively. So things like how do you do time management, capacity planning and task management. So how do you work better? Communication skills. So just around, you know, how do you communicate better with other people to make sure that, you know, people understand what you're saying. And then
that one, sorry to jump in again, that one in the middle, the spelling, punctuation and grammar is like a 30-minute presentation on grammar and spelling and punctuation issues. So it's just talking about how do you use a colon, how to use a semicolon, where are the key areas where people mess things up, just a few common grammatical errors and talking through how to resolve those. So that's probably a little bit more interesting for an English teacher. But you know, that's one of the resources. It's 30-minute presentation.
And then sort of the qualities of success. So just taking things into consideration when you're heading into the creative industry, learning from rejections and things like that. So it helps, you know, the students develop the resilience if they, you know, to understand what they can do with rejection to make it better. So basically that's quickly going through what's available on our member site. Obviously, if I go back to home, that goes back into your portal. Once you're done, you can just click sign out, and then that logs you out. So if I then log back in, It'll take you back to the portal. And if you can't see any of the content, usually it's because you're logged out. So just click on the member login. You have the terms and conditions here if you want to check that out, or if you want to contact us, just click on this and it'll open a contact us form and you can just fill it in and send it to us. There's also a student portal, which if I click onto, it's showing us, because I'm logged in as a teacher at the moment, so this is showing us what they can see, but with the student portal, they'll know, it'll identify them as being a student and they are in the student portal.
Thanks for the demo. So, talking about prices. Now, first of all, have to apologize. Our prices are all in US dollars because we are an international business, so we do transactions all around the world for the various things. And unfortunately, the website only allows us to deal in one currency. And we pick US dollars because it's just more global. So that might be a little bit annoying. Very sorry about that, but we have no control over it, sadly. So an annual license, if you just want access for teachers, is 189 US dollars. So I put the Australian dollars equivalent. Looking at the exchange rate, so it's $265 for 12 months. And access starts as soon as the payment's been processed. You get 12 months from that moment. You might get 12 months in one day. I think I set it up to account for leap years, so you kind of get a free day if it's not a leap year. If you want to get the student access as well, it's $224 US dollars for a 12-month license, or $314.12 AUD. In terms of renewals, there is, if you are a current member and you renew before the membership expires, then you get a pretty big discount. So the teacher's access is 195 AUD and the teacher and student is 230. So I didn't actually look at what percentage discount that is, but 265 down to 195 is it's pretty big. That's a quarter off-ish, something like that. My maths is terrible, sorry. But that just bear in mind that if you are a current member and your membership expires, you can't actually get the renewal price. So it's only for if you continue on within those first 365 days. Now for some bureaucratic assistance, because my professional background is working for state government, so I fully appreciate what it's like to work for an organization like a school and not necessarily being able to pay for things via credit card. Just worth us mentioning that the way that our system works is all based around what happens on the website itself. So when you make a payment to the system, it triggers a whole bunch of permissions and functionality and stuff like that, which makes everything work for you. So we can do invoices and we can take bank transfers if that's the only way you can do things. We will certainly make it work out. We'll figure it out one way or the other. And the way that we will do it is we'll just look up the exchange rate on the day and tell you how much that we'll charge you in AUD. You've already seen those prices, so it's not going to change much from that unless there's some, I don't know, the Australian dollar tanks or something like that. If the US dollar tanks, I think that's really good for everybody here. You'll get a cheaper price. But we might just charge a small admin fee because we have to do a whole bunch of manual processes to make sure everything works properly, because normally that's managed by the system at the point of payment. And we will grant access once we have received the payment. So not once you've said, oh yes, I'll pay. We have to receive the payment first. So yeah, we can do an offline version if that's helpful. Doing a little launch special, so anyone who's interested we'll knock 10% off the price of membership, but feel free to write this code down now. The web address will be on the next slide, I think. DTMS10 as in 10 as in 10%, so it's not an O, it's a 0. That coupon is available until the 15th. So if you're interested in getting that special, you will have to do something about it in the next week. And there are your adjusted prices. So it's that's in US dollars, 170.10 for the teacher access license, or 201.60 for the teacher and the student access. That pretty much brings us to the end of what we wanted to show you.